Hello, happy fucking Friday. This I lost them louts Kolsch. It's really nice now. It's been a week, so it's started to clear nicely now. And it's starting to clear nicely. It is starting to clear. And I'm happy for it. So earlier this week, as in yesterday, I had a real Kolsch, probably one of the first ones I've ever had. Fru, F.IF with umlaut H, this being lost umlaut. Fru was a Kolsch I had yesterday, and I got it from Morrison's, 4 for 3 thing, so buy 4 get the cheapest 1 free. Excuse me. It's well carbonated, I will say that. And I have to say it was absolutely outstanding. It was one of the best beers I've ever had altogether. What can I say about it? The initial flavour was very similar to this in that it had a citrus fruitiness about it. So that initial taste, there's a citrus fruitiness about it, but then it smoothly dissipated to leave in almost taste of spring water. It was just like, wow, that is fantastic. Just left with like the taste of spring water. There was a touch of bitterness there, a bit more bitterness than I got in this one, and so I may need to up the bitterness very, very slightly just to get that. And then tinker with the water profile, because I've not done anything with water profile with this. This is pure Yorkshire water. I've not tried to get a proper Cologne water profile to make, so I'll maybe doing that next when I make one of these. Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful beer. I had it yesterday afternoon, whilst sat out on the deck in the sort of late afternoon, early evening sunshine. Well needed, I'll be honest. Yeah. I was going to show you. Yeah, so I'm just picking things up here. I got props. I got props today. So I had made this using the Nova Lager yeast. So I'm intrigued by the fact that the Kolsch that I had uses obviously a Kolsch yeast, which is obviously an ale yeast for top fermenting rather than a bottom fermenting lager yeast. I'm not sure where this ferments, to be honest. I'm guessing it's top fermenting because, yeah, it is. It is very much top fermenting. And I only know this because when I did the Boca Nova, the bock that I made, up the pipe work, and the pipe's raised right up, so it's not into the liquid whatsoever. It is right out to allow CO2 escape, and it had pushed a load of crap up through it. So the only way it could do that, I guess, is because it ferments at the top. So yeah, the Nova Lager yeast is a top fermenting yeast. Obviously it's an ale yeast of a kind, I guess. Played getting certain lager issues, characteristics, shall we say, characteristics of a lager yeast. I know you can hear me rattling it. I'm playing with it in my hand. So when I finally finished playing with the lager yeast, I did 3 beers from it, dropping it onto the yeast cake. I did say I was going to then take a Kilner jar sample to keep, to use in another brew, and I would also try and dry some. And there is the results of my drying. Yep, old man's toenails. Lots of old men's toenails in a bag. I'm not sure whether it'll work or not, But having watched Dude's Brood's video where he was discussing Nova Lager yeast with the Lallemand representative for the UK and Scandinavia, he said one of the key components, obviously, for when they select specific yeasts for their traits, the main trait they have to have is the ability to be dried. Here we go. I don't know by which process. Obviously he didn't want to reveal such, I guess, commercially sensitive information about how they dry. So I just used what I've learned drying Kveik yeast, which is a layer of what do you call it there, paper, baking sheet, like a baking sheet, and then spread it thinly, the yeast that you've taken out of the bottom of your fermenter, spread it thinly, put another layer of paper on it and flatten it down so you get a very thin layer of the yeast in suspension of whatever liquid, and then dry it. How do you dry it? Well, you obviously don't want to go high with it, so you can put it in an airing cupboard. That would work perfectly well if you have one. If not, I used our fan oven, but with the heat off, and just the fan blowing a bit, turn a little bit of heat on, turn it off, turn a little bit of heat on, turn it off. I have a fan heater sat next to me, have that on cold for a bit, just to blow it, just to help it, and yeah, I hopefully it's come out great, and I will be testing it. I think I will get the stir plate and make a sample, small sample with some DME, and see if it can grow and such as it should, and if that works, then yeah, I'm going to be chucking it in a few brews and get some more and do the same again, regrow it and such, and that'll be brilliant, won't it? I'll be very happy with that. Free yeast. How can I ever refuse free yeast? As you may not have noticed, but I have a beer there. Oh, is now on cold crash. The Czech lager is finished. I went to pour a drink of it yesterday and got little of that much in the glass before it suddenly kicked. So I've now put that keg on to clean. What I do is I rinse it out, fully rinse it out, put some BWP in, put some water in, leave it to soak, and that'll soak now for a week. Then I'll empty that, rinse it, then fill it with Chemsan and water, obviously, and leave it sterilised for the next beer. I already have a keg ready for this, which is the American wheat beer. The American wheat beer will be going on. I started cold crashing it today, so it's a bit behind, so it's probably Sunday before I get to keg that now. Yeah, I was hoping to get it done Saturday, but no, it'll be Sunday. In fairness, I made it last Friday, not today, obviously, a week ago. So I made it a week ago, and so now it's cold crashing, and I'll probably keg it Sunday. And well, that is good because the Czech lager finished. The Czech lager's gone, finished. It was beautiful. I will be making that again. Hence why the yeast, I'll be testing that yeast rather quickly, I think, because I really want to get on and get another Pilsner on. I would like to have another go at doing this as well with the water profile test. I know I want to do what it tastes, what it's like now with the water I had when the water's busy, because we use river water for our water. The first one, we've had high rainfalls, and I want to see what the minerality of the water compared to in summer when there's low rainfall, and how the difference is. Is it because there's heavy rainfall but it's washing the minerals off the land? Is it watered down minerality, or is the minerality more condensed? And is the minerality more condensed during the summer when there's less water, or vice versa? The minerality is dissipated because it's not being washed off the land due to rainfall. Yeah, and how that alters and affects the beer itself. I'd just be interested to know. As it stands, the minerality in this, it needs a little bit more of something, because it's not quite like the Kolsch I had yesterday, but I think there is a slightly high minerality, could I say? Only based on my flavour taste buds and such, what I'm tasting. As it dissipates, and what I'm left with, there's a slight. It's not like a powdery minerality or anything like that. It's more not quite the spring water flavour that I was left with when I finished the F.IF Kolsch, but there's a little touch there. Anyway, moving on from that, these are fucking gorgeous. I haven't found these before. Mixed nuts, smoky tomato flavour. It just says smoky tomato flavour. It doesn't also mention there's a bit of a spice kick in there. These from Lidl, about £2, I think. But, oh, they're banging. With a beer, they're an afternoon session. Them and a few Kolsches, boom, there's an afternoon. Onwards and onwards, let's move. Sorry. Yeah. Now, I wanted to show the clarity that this has become. This is the bock, but I taken out the keg that had finished the Novacek, and as I did so, I moved the bock slightly and moved it around. Do you remember I was waiting to? Yeah, so the bock got moved. The bock had to get moved to create the space to put the next beer in, being that one. And I think it disturbed it slightly because it was a lot clearer than this a couple of days ago. It's not bad, but it was a lot clearer. So I think it disturbed it slightly. And that was, I poured this because I wanted to show you the clarity on this. But yeah, sorry. However, flavour wise, make a bock. Do it. You know you want to. It's gorgeous. And that pretty much wraps up the brewing, I think. Next brew, I haven't a clue. I really haven't got a clue. I've not really thought about it. I've got this far. The American wheat was a random moment where I went, yes. Because I was like this, at this point in the brewing, cold crashing the Lost Umlauts and not wondering what the hell I was going to brew next, and I just happened to be in Lidl and saw they had the wheat beers in and went, yes, I was going to brew an American wheat, wasn't I? I wanted to brew an American wheat, so I brewed American wheat. I haven't had that yet for what's next. There's Crystal Weizen yeast in the American wheat beer, so I'm intrigued to see how that comes out as it is. See whether it is clear. Pardon me. Yeah. Well carved, as you getting the Graham approval from wherever. Yeah. So I'm intrigued to know whether that will be as clear as it should be. If not, okay. Because it's that Crystal Weizen. Yeah, it's meant to come out crystal clear. And wheat beer. Hazy. So I'm intrigued to see what will happen with that. So I don't think I'll use that yeast for the next beer. whatever it is I brew, because I would really like to brew either just a pale ale, just a basic pale ale, a nice fruity pale ale, because I haven't got anything like that on at the minute. As fruity as it gets, I guess, is this, the Lost Umlauts, and I suppose the American wheat beer will be quite fruity, being a Citra American wheat beer, be a Citra American wheat beer, but like a big hot beer. I want to do a big hot beer again, because I did enjoy the last beer I did, which I suppose was a vacant gesture, but with lots of dry hop and lots of whirlpool and all that. Thiles. Speaking of which, Thiles. That's the big thing, isn't it, at the minute? Releasing Thiles. And I'm not sure where I am with that. I'm not convinced by the idea, having watched what's his bloody name? I've just gone straight out of my head. Brewlosophy, that's well. Brewlosophy. Having watched the Brewlosophy video when he did a beer using thiol releasing yeast and the extra thiol stuff, which is grape matter, because apparently grapes are full of thiols, hence wine has all the fruitiness and all the different flavour profiles and such. And they, I think that's what it was. I watched Craft Beer Channel, I've watched Brewlosophy, I know Matt Evans has put up about a podcast that is all about thiols. I haven't listened to that yet. I should. I probably will. But yeah, thiols. I'm not sure I'm convinced so far, having watched the Brewlosophy one. Having watched the Craft Beer Channel, they're all excited for them and tried a couple of beers that supposedly are thiol plus and seem to like them, but is that enough for the push for using thiols? So one of the ideas is, you can then, because SARS apparently is very heavy in thiols, locked thiols that you can then release, which would create more citrus flavours and such within, say, a lager. Just put some fucking Citra in there then. Be my thought. Anyway. On that note, I'm not sure really what to say about that. Oh yeah, I was going to say, it's been a bit of a shitty week. The wee lad, Thomas, came home from school on Tuesday and his face was lopsided. Like, turns out he has what's known as a Bell's palsy. It's taken 3 days to find out. Could have been a stroke, 7 years old, bit of an issue. The idea that would be the case, but you can't fucking rule anything out in life, can you? You have to double check and check again. As there's bruising, not everything turns out as you expect it to. But yes, it seems he has what's known as a Bell's palsy. So he's had chickenpox recently, he has diabetes. Both of these things seem to have been the fact that he has a hyperimmune system that does irreparable damage at times to himself, it seems, hence the diabetes. But it caused the trapped nerve, it's not a trapped nerve, causing an inflammation of a nerve to be bombarded again, and it's caused a freezing of half of his face. Yeah, been at work and going to hospital for the last 3 days. Yesterday afternoon we got home with the final, like, yeah, it's Bell's palsy. We've run every test we need to ensure that it's nothing more than that. It's just a Bell's palsy, which apparently is nothing really. It just needs I'm trying to think of the word, steroids. So he has a course of steroids for the next sort of week, it's about 12 days, 10-12 days. A course of steroids that will help cure it, well, not cure it, it will reduce everything else. He's got to massage his face a little bit here and there, helping him along the way, and he'll be back to normal, hopefully. It may happen again, it may never. It's one of those things that if you've got one of these super hyper immune systems that like kick the crap out of you yourself, could happen, might never happen. You never know. So it's been a wrecking stressful week, and so yesterday those beers were well needed, and these two, I'll be honest, it's, if you watch this, after this, go kiss the wife, kiss your husband, kiss your partner, hug them, hold them, same with your kids if you have them, your friends, everybody, because you just, life just chucks shit at you left, right and centre, and you never know what it's going to be. Thankfully this time the dice were good when we rolled a natural 20 and got out of it, but could have easily have been a natural 1. If you know D&D, you'll know that one. Anyway, this is enough of this. I'm going to take this and this, make some food, have some fun and enjoy my weekend. So you do too. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.